This is the hospitality volunteer portion of our training, and I'm Phil Mayhew, and this is Krista Rohr, and she is going to be helping us with this. What we're going to be doing today is going through what you need to do as a hospitality volunteer. This is the hardest one of these trainings to do because all of the other trainings you have direction on exactly what your job is. Basically, this job is to be nice to the people and to help them find things that they need. This is the list of actual duties that you will have. It is in the REACH website, and it's also back here at the front desk, so your volunteer can read that whenever they come in. What is happening here is I'm going to ask Krista some of her experiences. We're going to give you an idea of how to do some conversation starter things and how to just get to know the people and to know what you are supposed to be doing, which is kind of hard since you really aren't supposed to be doing anything. It's just being nice to people and helping them out, helping them find the bathroom, the kitchen, the laundry, all the things that a new person coming to a new environment would need. So with that, Krista.
All right, I'll tell you what I do. I have the advantage of being a nurse for a number of years. I retired recently. So when I come in, I have the advantage of I take people's blood pressures. So that's a grand opening. People are lined up waiting to come in at 7 o'clock. So they're outside. So I walk through the line, I look at people, I say, hi, how are you? I'm Krista, I'm gonna be here tonight. I'm gonna be walking around, talking to you, asking if you have any problems or if there's anything that you need any help with. I'm gonna check your blood pressure if you like. And we're just gonna chat with each other and we'll get to be friends and we'll get to know each other better.
And that's basically what we're looking for out of a hospitality volunteer. Some of the things that you may want to look at too is you will be positioned up here at the beginning when the people are coming in. You will see people who are struggling, who may need some extra help. Some will come through and they're the old school guys that already know what's going on. And you can also use some of those guys who have been here for a while. They can help. If you're a woman doing hospitality and a new man comes through who needs to know where the restroom is, and you don't feel comfortable taking a man to the restroom, you can have one of the older guests say, hey, can you show John where the restroom is? He's going to be staying with us for a couple of days. And most of the guests will be happy to say, yes, not only will they show John where the restroom is, they'll show him where his bunk is and introduce him around to the guys and make them feel comfortable and at home, which is what we want them to do. So you don't have to do all of that yourself as the volunteer. You just have to be the match that lights the fire under someone to do that. That it will snowball. Good things tend to snowball. So some of the things that we can do is, Krista had already referenced conversations around the table and with taking blood pressure.
And I think it's very important also, not to interrupt you, but I think it's really important I try to get down to their level. I stoop down with them, I sit down beside them, I say, looks like you're having a rough day, do you want to talk about it? I am surprised at how much people really want to tell their whole life story. They want to explain why they're here. Many of them feel so much guilt for being here, and they feel like people are judging them. I look them in the eye. I make sure that they understand that they can trust me and that I'm not judging them. I'm only there to help them. You know, I say, do you have insurance? Can I help you get referral for insurance? Do you have a doctor? I'm concerned about your blood pressure. Here's what I would suggest you do. I'm not telling you what to do, but here is a good suggestion, and I'm going to be following up with you so that you know that I care about you and I'm going to continue to keep an eye on you. And so I think that's important because it's funny over time, they'll be like, hey, here she comes, you know, and they get excited to see you because they want to talk to you. So that's really important, I think, to be non-judgmental and understand that, you know, and I say to them, any of us at any time could be homeless. I mean, it could happen to anyone. It's just really close to many people, especially nowadays. The economy is difficult. And I think people, when they talk to you, they learn to trust you because they understand that it's important to have someone that they can trust, that they can talk to and reveal their story. And the more that they listen, that they find out that you're not talking to them and telling them what to do, the more they trust you and the more that they're willing to reveal more of their story.
Absolutely. And when you're going to come off what Krista's saying about getting on their level and stuff like that, if you go up to someone and they have team jerseys are huge in the shelter. So if somebody's got on a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey or something like that, and you go up and you sit down with a plate of food and you're a Pittsburgh fan, or even if you're not a Pittsburgh fan, you can talk about football or something like that. Pick something that you got in common. But also remember that as you sit down with this person and they have on a Pittsburgh jersey, that jersey may just be keeping them warm. So they may not be a Pittsburgh fan. Have a backup question ready for them. Where'd you go? What's going on with this? Have something else ready to go. Don't put all your eggs into one, it's a jersey basket and I like football, so I'm gonna go over there and rely on all of that. Also, you wanna remember too, some people when you sit down, they may not want to talk. They have basically just come out of the cold. They've been cold and sitting on a street corner all day long. You probably haven't done that, but if you want to be totally miserable, I would suggest giving it a try. So some of the guys may not be in a good mood. If they're not, be ready to sit there. Just sit there and eat. And you may not want to talk. And you may get halfway through your meal and they're eating, and then they turn to you and say something that will kick off a conversation, and what will build into a big friendship is a good thing, and it could have ended as soon as they said something short to you and you got up and left. You may never even have gotten that opportunity to be able to help. And as you're helping, as you're sitting there at a meal, we had a specific case a couple of years ago that I was sitting having a meal with a couple, and the lady's teeth were bad. She could not get into a dentist or anything like that, and had no hope of getting into a dentist. Well, one of our other coordinators manages a dentist office. We had her in the dentist the next day. So just from sitting down and eating and having a conversation, you will get those things. That kind of thing will happen in here. Also let them know that we don't know everything, but you will be happy to go and see if you can get them some help from the actual social workers that work in here. You will direct them in the direction they need to go in. So while we don't have all of the answers, we will try to find them some answers. Many of the things will come up that will lead to other things that are going on in the shelter. Some people are scared to get an apartment because they don't have furniture. Well, you can tell them, we have a furniture ministry that we will get you furniture if you're getting into an apartment. So all of those kind of things will build and help, and hopefully that will give you an idea of what you're supposed to do as the hospitality volunteer. Also for this position, you don't really want, as a coordinator, you don't want to pick someone who is trying to come out of their shell, who is trying to learn to talk to people. You want the outgoing, talkative person. That's the one you sort of want in this. If you're not sure of that, let them volunteer at the front desk or volunteer at security or something like that, where they're going to be interacting and you can observe and see if they've got, like what Krista has, that can get out here and really get in the mix and get things done as a hospitality volunteer. So that's basically, Krista?
I think it's important also to respect people's boundaries. Some people don't want to talk. If they don't want to talk, that's fine. Sometimes you can just tell them, about some bad, most people have had some kind of bad experience in their life, and you can say, let me tell you about what happened to me. And you would be surprised, all of a sudden that segues into them telling you their story. So it's interesting that if you just share some of your stories or friends' stories, things like that, but respect their boundaries, because if they don't want to talk to you, they don't want to talk to you, and that's okay. They may want to talk to you next week. They may just be having a really bad day. They may have, a lot of them have legal issues that they have to deal with, and so it's important to respect their boundaries. But if they want to talk, also make sure that you sit there and you listen to them, because look them in the eye. Make sure that you understand that they are important to you and that you want to hear what they have to say. And with that, that's how you gain people's trust, I think. And that's it's a difficult position with hospitality, I agree. And if you're new with hospitality, I think it's kind of helpful to grab somebody who's maybe floating around, who's familiar with it, and kind of follow them around and kind of mimic what they're doing, because you learn that way by following what other people are doing.
Absolutely, and to come off of that one, the personal space thing, don't touch. A lot of people, you can shake their hand if they stick their hand out or something like that, or you can stick your hand out to shake it. Don't put your hand on their back and give them a pat or any of that. A lot of the guys are very sensitive about being touched, which you can understand. So don't act like it's your nephew coming over for a hamburger and you say, "Hey buddy," and pat him on the back. That can go bad fairly quickly.
There was an individual who was here from another country recently, this past year, and it took him a while. He really was afraid that people were judging him from being from another culture. And I just would sit with him every time I came, and I would just chat with him, and I'd say, "Hey, what's going on in your life? Hey, how was your day?" That kind of thing. It was interesting because it was I think it was New Year's Eve I came by, and he trotted out, he said, "I have something really special to show you." And he had a large picture of him and his wife, and it was a big picture of their wedding day, and it was a beautiful picture. And he said, "I've waited a long time to show this to somebody special," and I just really appreciated that, because it really made me feel like he finally did understand that, we're all alike.
Yes, and sometimes that'll take, just like Krista's saying, sometimes that will take months to get someone to open up like that. And we just want you to be a small part of that. You don't have to work like Krista did over the months and build the entire wall yourself, but just be a block or two in that wall to get somebody to open up a little bit. And that, all in all, is basically what the hospitality position is for.
Yeah, and sometimes it just helps just to say, what was a good thing that happened to you today? Or what was the worst thing that happened to you today? And that gets them talking.
Mm-hmm.
So
thank you for watching this, and hopefully it has helped out a little bit, and we will give everybody the opportunity. I know that most of the coordinators have got their own stories to tell about all of this, so this video series is, we're going to keep building on the hospitality one, because we feel like the more stories that come out with the hospitality and things like that, and the things that Krista's just shared, we think that the more people hear those kinds of things, they will be able to add those into their playbook and be able to work this position a lot better. And we're still molding and making this position, so whatever you can do and whatever suggestions that you have for us, we are more than happy to hear them. Thank you for watching.